Hello, this is Dread, and in today's video topic, we're going to be going over a quick update on the build that I'm currently playing and some of the funny mishaps I've been up to with it. So, as you all know, I never played Diablo 3. I'm not a good Diablo player by any means. I didn't even play in the betas before Diablo launched. So, I went into this completely blind other than a max leveling guide. After that, it was just smooth sailing and me trying to figure out what the heck was going on. So what happened was after last video, I continued pushing the character and we managed to get to World Tier 4 after killing Elias. And when I got to the boss fight, he one-shot me, obviously, because, he does a lot of damage, but he's also a paper tissue. So it only took me like a few tries to get used to the boss's rhythm, and I killed him, and that was that. But in the back of my mind, I was like, wait, why do I have so much damage? And then, of course, I just continued on. And then I moved on to World Tier 4. I did some Hell Tides, then some Ancestral Dungeons, the lower tier ones in like Tier 20 and all that. And it was a breeze. It was great. And then I dropped a new weapon, the one on screen. That was an upgrade for what I had at the time, right? Because it has a lot of stats that you'd want on this kind of build. But the problem was there was a aspect on my weapon that was drop only, as you can see here. That aspect I didn't have a copy of, so I just simply got rid of it and then put a different aspect on it till I could, replace it later. And oh boy, was that a mistake, an absolutely ridiculous mistake. As soon as I did that, my damage plummeted, absolutely plummeted all the way down. Like, I went from doing T4, like Ancestral Dungeon smoothly, all the way to struggling in Tier 3 Sacred Dungeons. Like, let me tell you, that was a culture shock, because guess what? Did you know that the percentage multiplier on this item, on this aspect here, is more damage? So if you don't know what's going on, each time you've inflicted Shadow Blight over the last 10 seconds or whatever it is, you deal more damage with your next few Shadow Blights for the next 10 seconds. So of course, with the way that my build is set up, I just have this maxed all the time. So it's like 350% more damage or even more all the time. And well, Diablo, I don't know why they do this. I don't know why they don't mark things properly, but this was a significant portion of my damage because I'm playing a Shadow Blight build, right? Let's be real. So when I took off the weapon, I was doing no damage. So I had to farm and struggle through Sacred Tier 3s just to re-get the aspect again. And guess what? I put it back on. Bam! Doing World Tier 4, doing Nightmare Dungeon Tier 30s. I got some more HP. I shot up from 2.5k HP all the way to 7k HP. I messed around with my Paragon board, and bam, I was just smooth running. Now, as you can see in the background, I am taking a little bit longer than normal to clear this dungeon. That's just because I spent a lot of time backtracking and stuff. Oh, one other thing that I found important is, as a Necromancer, since you are, mobility scooter levels of mobility, right? Like, you have to literally like use a wheelchair to get around. Since you have no mobility skills in general, this means that you are incentivized to build as much movement speed as humanly possible. Also, as well, in general, in Diablo 4, it is a really slow game, so having as much movement speed as humanly possible is great. So right now, I have movement speed on my amulet and my boots. I just upgraded my boots, and now we're at like, I think, 150 or 49% movement speed, which is 50% higher than what you start out with. And let me tell you, it feels absolutely amazing. Movement speed is king in this game because the quicker you can move through dungeons, the quicker you can clear them, right? Obviously. Now, I just need to work on my damage a little bit more. I need to get a new aspect because this weapon let's be real, it's starting to show its age. I have a better one in my inventory, which I plan on upgrading to once I drop that weapon only aspect. Now, that's actually part of the problem with my current build is the fact that all of my damage is behind a weapon, behind a drop only aspect. But it's fine. We'll just wait till we get another aspect, and then we'll be able to cruise through even more progression. Also, as well, I upgraded my amulet after this recording. Before, it was 75% increased damage with, or more, or whatever you want to call it these days, with Shadow Blight. Oh, just damage after triggering Shadow Blight a bunch of times. Now it's 175% more damage. So that is a big boost as well in damage. So that we're going to be able to push even higher. So yeah, that's going to be it for my intro here. We're going to go in game and talk about the build in detail and what I changed. All right, here we are in game with the character. Like I said, I just want to let you know, I am not a Diablo 4 aficionado. There are people who are much better at this game than me. There's the Necromancer guide, Macro Boy for Maxroll. He has made some really good guides. He understands what he's doing. I kind of understand what I'm doing now. Also, you have like Woodio as well, like pushing to Lilith and all that. Like, I am not good at the game. I just want to let you know that. So while we go over gear here. So, like I said, the first upgrade was specifically getting this weapon and getting that Shadow Blight keystone on it, the aspect. Like I said, this is literally all of your damage because Shadow Blight's all of my damage right now. I plan on upgrading to this. I lucky rolled into the intelligence, and this is going to be an insane amount of damage for us, which is wonderful. I also upgraded my amulet for movement speed. I'm also getting, of course, that increased Shadow Blight damage. I mean, more damage after Shadow Blight, which is great. I upgraded my boots to have significantly more movement speed. Also, essence cost reduction, because having less essence costs means I can spam Blight more on single target. Also, as well, the Blood Orb healing is great. One little tip, life does not roll on boots, so do not try to roll for it. It is not worth your time. Life does not roll on boots. Some other things that I did was I upgraded my pants to a +4 to Blood Mist. This is insane, as it brings our cooldown to Blood Mist significantly lower now. We're at 16.94 seconds, which is great, right? Then chest I upgraded as well to get as much HP as possible. And of course, we got the mod that gives us a bunch of healing for enemy nearby. I don't think this is required because we're already at like 7k HP. I'm going to need the upgraded version to make that worth it. So we're probably going to swap the aspect here to like an armor aspect or something like that, because that will probably make us significantly tankier. Then for the helmet, I upgraded it as well, got a little bit more HP, got some cooldown, which is wonderful, by the way. That cooldown's amazing because, like I said, we're trying to spam cooldown. And the ring here, this is only sacred. It dropped sacred. I'm kind of sad it's sacred instead of ancestral, but the modifiers on it were so insanely strong that I decided just to keep it. Then as well, we have the ring here, our ancestral ring. The only reason I'm using it is because it has an insane amount of HP on it, and that's what I needed at the time because I wanted HP. Now, the biggest change that we made since the last video was our Paragon tree, other than, of course, our weapon. Our Paragon tree. I reflipped my Paragon tree multiple times, trying to figure out the best combos, and I believe I found the best combo for my current build. So the first thing I did was ditch whatever I was doing here, and I went for Glyph Socket instead for increased damage for every close corpse up to 12%, and that's also giving us increased amount on our rare nodes as well, which is great. I'm not leveling it up because it's not really worth leveling it up right now, because all it would really do is increase that bonus to rare nodes. So it's not really a priority. Later on, we could level it up, obviously, but right now it doesn't matter. It's not like as if an increase of radius would make the node better. I'm trying to find a better glyph for this, but I'll be honest, I have absolutely no idea what glyphs are doing right now, like how they drop, when they drop, like your pool of glyphs, why there's no search bar for my glyphs. Like, it's kind of like annoying, whatever. My big innovation though was slamming this and getting it to 15. Because once I got to 15, it increased the radius, which allowed me to put more willpower onto my glyph socket here instead of down there. And of course, less damage taken and a bunch of increased shadow damage. So if we look here, willpower, we're grabbing all of the willpower in the radius here and getting a significant amount of increased damage. And also as well, we get a bunch of damage versus elites, intelligence, which is wonderful as well for our setup. And of course, we're grabbing Flesh Eater. I am pretty sure that this is more damage. I just really hate how they have all these written out and what is multiplicative and what is not. Maybe the weapon that I have isn't multiplicative. Maybe it is. I have no idea. I really couldn't tell you, but I'll be honest, between having it and not having it, it's a huge difference. So I'm pretty sure of the latter, that it is multiplicative, right? So if anyone can confirm that in the comments, that would be wonderful. Like I said, I'm not a Diablo 4 expert. Also as well, I managed to get this glyph socket in. It has an insane amount of intelligence around it, which is great because intelligence specifically gives us a bunch of skill damage, if you didn't know. I know this for a fact, that this is multiplicative damage. I know that for a fact. I know that specifically because of the little thing that Woodio and those other guys made, right? But this is insanely strong because we can get damage against crowd controls enemies. Crowd controls enemies means like slow, stun, whatever, and our blight applies slow. So we're always going to have that crowd control on enemies, right? Including bosses. So this is a lot of increased damage, as you can tell. And of course, once we increase our area even more, we'll get this node, and we're going to get this node as well. And it'll be level 15. It'll upgrade. We're also going to get more intelligence, so we do increased damage to slowed or chilled enemies. I don't know if this is multiplicative or not. Like I said, could be, couldn't be. I have no idea. This game's confusing sometimes with its numbers and how it works, but whatever. Yeah, that's been all the changes to my build so far. I'm getting pretty happy with the build. I'm also saving up items to try and attempt a minion Necromancer. Eventually, we're going to respec this character once I feel happy with it. Probably when we hit 100, to be honest. I'm really enjoying this build. But yeah, all that being said, see you guys next time.